G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Luke, also known as Lukums, and for this week we'll be looking at PC changes or the classes or the blessings or the passives that are changing, and I'm jumping into Mage at this point. So before we looked at the Crusader has gone under a huge rework with their blessing tree and it's phenomenal with the passives, like I said. And the same thing goes for mages. Everything is subject to change and you all need to take this stuff with a grain of salt. That all said, let's jump straight into mages and the change. Well, I should say multiple changes. There's a couple of visual ones which are absolutely fantastic, and it's probably still not going to get me over the line to play mage, but I'll show you anyway. Mages used to have a right click that would flame and do a dot on enemies, and they still have that. So you can right click and off it goes, right? And that's all fine, but I want you to have a close look of what happens when you grab a few and then do the exact same thing. It now splits off as a ball of fire. So 1 and 2. Looks a bit better from further away. As well as our arcane is no longer purple. Our arcane auto attacks are now blue. The other things that have changed are the numbers. They're a little bit bolder. They're easier to read. They've got like a gradient effect with that orange and cream. Looks really good. Just clear, precise for the people that love to see their high numbers and go, oh shit, I didn't really quite see what number that was. Well, now you can. So that's a really cool change. Now, as far as everything else goes, as you guys can see, the other thing that I'm going to quickly show you before we get too far into Mage is top right, the left-hand side of the map there, you've got some bars. These bars are new. They're basically aggro bars. So when we've got enemies on top of us, it will see, or it will show how many we've got and at what point and health they are. I can't really see a value to this at the moment. I would see this as a value in certain dungeons like AOB with the multiple eyes, but for the most part, it's just really a little bit annoying, and hopefully it comes with a toggle option to get rid of it. I understand that they're trying to add more things for us and make life easier to use and have a decent UI, but I do think that this information is probably not needed nor required. Right, so as previously mentioned, the skill system has changed considerably. We can pick any skill we want, which means that we're no longer grinding for Blizzard, the Storm Chaser. So that means that we have access to Blizzard within level 20 and Meteor is around 26. So what this means is I can click Blizzard, I can assign it to slot 1. I can click Meteor and assign it to slot 2. Arcane to 3. And Firebomb, if we want, to 4. Right? So now we have all of our OP skills. What we wanted for the longest amount of time, we finally have it. But it all comes with a catch. The catch is the blessing system like we were discussing with the Crusader. You must pick a blessing and then branch off to it with the skills that you're currently running. Now, what I mean by that is there's no point buffing your arcane damage if you plan on using your rotations with frost skills only. Shields, blizzard, ice novas, things like that. So you got to be careful what blessings you select. Now, we'll go through all the passives like we did with the Crusader so you guys can make your own judgment calls as we all do. A lot of people will be playing the PvE aspect, myself included, where other people would probably pick passives that more benefit them in PvP situations. Again, there's no right nor wrong answer with Bless Unleashed. All of the content is doable, in my opinion, no matter what build you actually select. So we'll go through everything and see what's changed from Mage. Right, Gift of Valor, starting off, might as well start from the top. Again, can't read Korean, so I don't know what they're actually going to be called. Frost Spear can now hold up to 2 charges. When Frost Nova hits an enemy, There's a 50% chance to immediately recover one charge of Frost Spear. Really, really cool. Again, 50% is quite high of a chance. All these levels can be increased, so that 50%, you get another 50% when you go to level 2, 3, and so on. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it all kind of works out. Number 2, attacking an enemy with Frost type combo or skills have a 50% chance to deep freeze the target for 8 seconds. Deep freeze. Frozen enemies have reduced movement speed. This effect can stack. In PvP situations, when using like frost combos, which is what it says, that is a huge debuff on movement when you desperately need to get away, when you're getting swamped on a control point in Red Basin, whatever. So anything that hinders movement in a big way is your PvP go-to, right? You still want to do damage. So you've got to weigh up these choices, right? And I'll leave that up to you guys. Hitting a frozen enemy with an arcane type skill will clear the deep freeze effect and damage done by 5% for each stack. So remember, it can stack multiple times, so that's multiplicative. Reduces frost type skill cooldown by 5% for each stack. So there's considerable amount of thought process and math to go into it. Increased defense by 100 when amplify skill is used, amplifying yourself the iron skin for 10 seconds. I guess that kind of text will probably get redone. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. When attacked while under the effect, inflicts a deep freeze to the target. And you can see how Crusader doesn't really match up with Mage at the moment. I think that's very, very odd. Mark of the Wolf. Mark of the Wolf. Critical hits apply the Magic Barrage effect to the user for 10 seconds. Magic Barrage is stackable and increases the user's attack speed. Increases the user's attack speed and critical hit damage. Pretty significant here. Crit hits, we're always critting as Mage because we have Amplify. Amplify gives us 100% crit rate for a significant amount of time. Probably a no-brainer here. Increases damage of arcane type combos and skills for 30%. That is your auto attacks, right? And a couple of skills, but mainly your auto attacks. 30%. And has a 15% chance to increase the received damage of enemies 5% for 8 seconds. Right, so it's a trade-off. You're doing 30% more damage as well as receiving some damage. But, I mean, if you're not getting hit, why not take it? Concentrate applies a protective shield to the user for 10 seconds, so regeneration gives you a shield. Not terrible, but I don't find it useful. Increases critical rate by 5%. I'm one of these users where we go, well, we have Amplify. If you're timing Amplify decently and well enough, you really don't need to take more critical rate stuff. You can get 20% crit rate while your Amplify is down and you are doing a considerable amount of damage. I'm not saying that you're not, but are you taking 5% crit hit rate when you got Amplify and dropping 30% damage flat? I don't think so. Lionheart. Reduces the mana consumption of fire-type combos and skills by 30%. Meteor, maybe, I guess. Hitting enemies with fire-type combos and skills have a 50% chance to apply burning heat to the user. Again, not too bad. Flame wave, whatever. Burning heat is stackable and increases the user's attack power. We have no idea what that increased attack power is as far as percentages or flat rate, so we can't really comment on this one. Increases skull damage 50% and fire type combos and skills. Flame wave has a 10% chance of stunning enemies. Maybe in PvP situations, but flame wave takes so long to get off in PvP, I really just don't rate it. In some PvE situations, especially in dungeons where you can tunnel everything down the hall, it makes sense, but for the most part, not really. Increase PvE combat XP gain 32.5. Now, all classes have this. It's obviously a no-brainer. Leveling up faster, just 100%. And once again, the Crescent Moon is under NDA construction, whatever you want to call it. Again, what I said before was we were getting the Crescent Moon around about where we were killing Gideon. So level 22 to 26, depending on how slow or fast you're going. It might just unlock then. We don't know. At the moment, it just looks like it's just MIA. Now, Class skills, nothing really has changed for mage as far as class skills, so there's no real point going through it. It's pretty much the same energy, steel, frost armor, frost shield, concentrate, time distortion. It's all the same, so we're not going to go through it. So as far as the visual stuff, where we've got a blue bolt instead of a purple bolt, and a right click now, which actually drops a ball. It's all visual changes for mage at the moment. The blessings I don't rate compared to Crusader, with a couple of monster buffs that they have. Obviously, mage in its own right is still decent. I don't think it's not decent, but compared to a couple of the other classes that we'll be reviewing in the next video, I don't see it as valuable as it once was. With all the shadow nerfs and nerfs that have plagued mage in the last 6 months, it just makes the class less fun to play, and it really just fails to stack up to the other DPS classes at the moment. Guys, I hope you liked this video. Again, please remember to leave a like, hit that subscribe button if this helped you or found it informative in any way, and we'll move on to the next one, Priest. And there is some really cool changes happening to Priest. Oh my god, I just died.